Good afternoon, good evening, good morning from Australia. We are live. I'm David Starlyte. Every week we come to you live. Last week, I think it was 6 days ago, so a little bit of a different time. I am online live. It's been a lot of energies passing through me as always. And during the show, you can support my page by sending stars, a digital gift that helps me to earn money. What a beautiful week has been. I've been busy with an art exhibition and exhibiting over here as part of the Carnival Festival in Port Douglas. So lots of wonderful artists, and the weather has been sublime. I wish I could show you the weather somehow other than words. It would be easier just to show you pictures. I have taken a few pictures on my phone of the sunset over the water. This venue is over the water, so you get 360-degree views of the ocean, of the sunset, of the beach, of the wharf, of the ships going by, the boats going by. It's very special, very special. So I was there. I had it's a little bit of a energetically sort of requires a lot of energy to rise up and exhibit one's artwork. You feel like you pushing out into the world. So I did go through that energy, and I was actually happy with the result. Things seem to be quite harmonious, reaching that culmination. Although when I put a what do you call it, like a aftercoat, the paint was running, which was a little bit surprising and a little bit stressful. So some artwork, a lot of artwork can be filled with surprises, unexpected outcomes, things that and it's part of the process. It's part of the rawness, the aliveness of the paintwork. So it is just how it works, depending on your style, depending on your approach. A lot of the best artwork is accidental, believe it or not. So you do something and it's not exactly how you envisaged it. So the artist is often more surprised than anyone else. So I put on this resin, this final coat, I forget what you call it, product, and it just seemed to be running. The paint seemed to be moving on the surface, and I was just putting it under fans, left it for about 12 hours. I was a little bit concerned with what was going on with the surface of the paint. And welcome to the show. We have too cool for you. And we have Ninja Bowler. Hi, Ninja. Welcome to the show. So unexpected spontaneity, going with the flow, a lot of things going on with the paintwork new sub. So wonderful to see everyone new, all light workers, people who are spiritually curious, people looking for spiritual grounding, for Buddhist wisdom, perhaps. And what a surprise to see Kim. Wonderful to see you, Kim. How have you been? I'm going to pick a card for Kim, and we have Too Cool saying, how is your day? So I'm over in Far North Queensland, Port Douglas, Far North Queensland, which is along the Great Barrier Reef, Australia. Where are you? Have you been to Australia? Do you know Australia? So, Kim, we are just picking a card for you. That seems to be jumping out. And there we go, Kim. All right. So there's interesting cards for you, quite cosmic. And you're just saying, I'm doing okay. I've been quite busy with the artwork. You seem like a cool and chill guy. Well, thank you, Too Cool. I don't know anything about you, so I love the feedback. I love the support, so thank you. When we love each other, the world becomes such a joyous place. When we try to fight each other or bring each other down, it becomes a very unpleasant, kind of treacherous place. So we set the tone and we can co-create our reality, create a beautiful harmony. We do have the potential. Every person has the potential. Kim says, thank you so much. Too Cool says, agree. And what's your actual name, or is it just Too Cool? That would be a cool name. All right, so Kim, we have the breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. So this is kind of a big picture card. I'll just show it to you at my chest. It's kind of saying get a big picture, full spectrum view. Go out. So to go out, you can zoom in and zoom out. So take a little bit of a bigger picture. You're part of the universe. So you are able to tap into the universe, but sometimes you're caught up in little details this card is implying. There's a lot of masculine energy and that's a protective energy around you. You have these kind of angels or guides which are there to bring you safety, trust, and protection. They're very protective of your energy. So it's quite that card is saying you have the protection around you. Sydney, Too Cool says hi. I think it's only me. And Sydney says hi. Welcome to the show, Sydney. Hi, how are you doing? I'm doing great. I've had a busy week with the arts exhibition. I'm going to head over there soon, check out the artworks, and I was pleased with my triptych, which is 3 panels of artwork. Do you love your subscribers? I love everyone, even my non-subscribers. Definitely the subscribers have a special place in my heart, Jackie. All right, so Kim, coming back to you, it's a very interesting kind of tapestry going on, reminding you that you're part of a bigger view, you're part of a bigger world, a greater cosmos than perhaps you are intentionally aware of, or it's in your conscious mind. So micromanaging the universe, kind of take a step back. Remember that there is a greater force, the one force, or call it the universe, and the natural flow of life. So play with that energy, dance with that energy, and enjoy the dance, because you do have the cosmic intelligence within you, and it's everywhere. So sometimes letting go, going with the flow, laughing at yourself, laughing with other people, and loving this wonderful universe we call God, or many names for it, Buddha. We call the stream of oneness or union that we are part of. So breath of life, surrender to the greater plan, the higher plan that God has for you. That's the message for that card. And you do have the protection, a masculine type of protection. I think Abigail, we said hi. Hi, Abigail. Too Cool said that's kind. Maybe I didn't say hi. So welcome, Abigail. Welcome to the show. I love the name Abigail, maybe because no, wait a minute. What's Abby? Because my cousin's name is Abigail. And wait a minute. My niece, what's her name? Abigail. Yeah, I got a little confused. That's kind. Yeah, my niece is also Abigail. So I've got Abigail and a cousin and a niece. So now we need more people in the stream. You deserve, for people in the stream, love the personality, that personality. Kim says, nice, thank you. And Two Girls says, my real name is Jacob. Jacob, great to have you. Where are you in the world? And would you like me to pick a special card just for you? Di Stefano Frank. Hi, Di. Welcome to the show, and lovely to have you here to join in this stream of consciousness. What are you learning? How is it been for you recently? The world has gone through so many changes. It feels like we are in the midst of a storm, turbulent energies, and grounding and being in tune with our nervous system is really essential to get through this, to rise above this, to swim with the fishes, to be part of the world but not of it. What's that saying? I got to go. Hope to see you again soon. So great to see you, Jacob, and you're welcome anytime. So wonderful to have Jacob on the show. Have a beautiful day, Jacob. I thought it said doctor almost. And any questions, any comments, any feedback is warmly welcome on this show. The road to heaven goes through hell. It certainly can die. It certainly can. And I feel like the Buddhist term, which is dukkha, which is a kind of impediment to, completion or union with the divine. There's always this impediment. Maybe it's fatigue, it's building, it's constant need to be doing things just to keep things keep things maintenance, just to keep things maintained, to keep things like the shower. I was pouring bleach all over the shower this morning, and then I was coughing because of the mold issue. So mold is an issue out here because it's wet. And so we need this constant maintenance. If we don't maintain the world, it gets completely chaotic, and we do need, that is work. It's like constant hurdles. Whenever you cook, then you got to clean. Or someone's got to clean. Otherwise, things are pretty dirty. So there is this dukkha of the world. Are you familiar with dukkha? Is a Buddhist concept, a Sanskrit concept. Rob says, big blessings to you. May I have a reading, please? So sure. So we'll pick a card for Rob. I do have my tea over here. There is a type of soul expansion around you, a type of energy around you, which is quite kind of a mesmerizing energy, I would say, Rob. It's quite vibrant, and that's kind of pulling you along a stream. It definitely right now requires some patience. We want the world to go at our pace, and it's like God laughs because we cannot force the universe. We cannot force everything to be as we want it. So I'm just going to get a card here from the Starseed Oracle, which is reminding you that the message is coming through, and you are a receiver. You're receiving that energy. You're receiving that message, and that is about bringing harmony and balance into the world. It is often thought of as a Sirian energy. I don't know if you're familiar with Sirius, the dog star, Sirius A and Sirius B. This is known as a very crystalline planet. There's two planets, and honoring the masculine and the feminine, bringing balance to the masculine and the feminine, and bringing reverence to the energy. So many ascended masters come from or are connected to the Sirian energy, and you're part of bringing balance into the planet, not just fertility, but balance in all ways, nurturing the garden of the world so we can have the Garden of Eden. So we can have the Garden of Eden here alive, and not just in fantasy, not just in the imagination, but as a real lived force. So that's what we're here to perfect the world, to nurture the world, to be custodians of this planet. That you have a messenger energy, so that means you're here to send out messages, to teach, to even when you're not intentionally a teacher, that energy doesn't mean that you need to be teaching intentionally necessarily. It's just that you are like an angel of balance. An angel, so think of yourself as an angel of balance, if that helps. And how wonderful to have someone bringing balance to the force. What sort of one impediment is that you are thinking. So rumination is kind of like standing in your way. So a lot of rumination. Rob, it's been a dozen years since my wife passed, but her energy remains with me. A dozen years. So absolutely that energy is remains with the energy of the soul. So Di, the energy of the soul. Di Stefan. So I think your name is Frank, and I think you've been on the show before, Frank. So Rob, I was just talking to you. All right, so patience, it keeps coming up. You are this angel of balance, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing to be. I wish there were more souls like that bringing balance to the world, Rob. So it's a wonderful thing to be part of the balance, part of the harmony. Being centered, being patient, honoring your choices, equanimity, coming from the heart. And I really appreciate your peaceful and centered approach. So thank you, Rob. And thank you so much. You are a beautiful soul. Thank you, Rob. Takes one to know one. All right. So Frank, I think we've spoken before. Frank says, go with the flow. And Frank says, just got stuck. It's been a dozen years since my wife passed, but her energy remains with me. First time on show that we were in touch when my wife was sick. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been a while, Frank. So welcome to the show, and it's beautiful to have you here. It's sort of, your energy just seemed really familiar, and your name came up. So I just I have a close friend, and she just lost both her parents in the last couple of weeks. So a lot of people are going through the transition between life and death, and contemplating what it means to pass over, to transition from one life to another life, to shift forms. What is consciousness? What is the human body? It's ephemeral, it's short-lived. The soul resides in the body, and we are these spiritual beings. So death is an illusion. It doesn't really exist. We just transition over into a different type of consciousness, a higher consciousness. This is very much a three-dimensional world. So it's a container, a vessel. It's very illusory. What we see is not real. Ultimately, there's emptiness and consciousness. I think of the universe as the eye. The eye. Have you seen that eye of the Milky Way, where you see the eye in the Milky Way? It is emptiness and consciousness, and we are like short-lived sparks. And we inhabit a human body. We play in this reality. We dance in this reality, and then we move on to the spiritual plane. So, and the spiritual plane interacts with the earth. So we do have this connection with anyone who's been here before, even souls that haven't been here before. They can still be around. But definitely that souls who've been here and been with close to someone else, often they will inhabit, or they will visit, they will be around. So she is still around you. It's been a dozen years since she passed away. So it's a deep soul contract of being there for each other. Just following the comments. Blessings to you, Rob. Beautiful blessings to Rob. And Frank says, good to see you doing well. Great to see you, Frank. Marianne says, hi. Welcome to the show, Marianne. I'm just going live. Busy with the art show yesterday. I'm going to go back this morning and visit the art show. That's going to be an experience. I'm going to bring you along. All right, so I'm just going to get a card for Frank, just tuning into the soul. Yeah, she's very much with you. She's kind of sometimes coming in as a guide, but also just encouraging you, and almost like just being present with you to remind you that she is present. It's a loving force, a loving energy, which is supportive of you. So she's not always acting as your soul guide. It's an interesting relationship. She is considering transitioning into that state of awareness that she is around, and she wants you to know that she is around, Frank. And it's almost like there's a ringing bell or something. There's even these reminders that she sends, but also the sound of birds. So when you hear the sound of birds or the ringing bell, there's something to do with ringing. She's come to bless you, to love you, and to support you, Frank. And Frank says, welcome to visit the States when Trump passes. Am I not welcome to visit the States until he passes, Frank? Well, it's turbulent times. However, it is, souls have chosen to be here. Some have chosen to leave, some have chosen to be here. And I'm here, so make the best of it. So I don't see, I don't see things, the world in black and white. And I see a lot of souls are here to be of service. So you're not just of service when things are going your way. You're of service for all times, for all types of situations and all souls. So, try not to get too swayed by sort of politics or political viewpoints, or seeing, one side as evil or the other side as good. There are dark forces in the world. There are forces of evil in the world. So it is real. It is there, and we do need to fight the darkness. But sometimes things get a little bit exaggerated, or a little bit. The nuances get dissolved, and people lose their balance, or lose their perspective, and get sort of dive into and go down rabbit holes. Angela says, hi Angela, welcome to the show. Marianne says, had a moment 2 days ago, who visited me? I suspect Joe. He always puts a scent that isn't there. Of course, it could be someone else. Oh, that's interesting. So you had a scent. That's very cool, Marianne. You have this clear audience. You have all the clairs, clairsentient, clear audience. Frank says, at your peril, I think you're referring to visiting the States. I visited the States a number of times, and I just haven't been financially. I think it's been difficult the last few years, and I have not been. When was I there last? I think it was about 2018, or no, whatever it was. It's been a long time, Frank. I think maybe it was 2015, something like that. So it's been a very long time for me away from the States. So it's a lot more peaceful where I live here in Australia, and because it's peaceful, you kind of feel that peace, and you feel less fragmented and less kind of driven by these intense worldviews or intense situations going on in other parts of the world. Not to deny that it exists or escape it or bypass what's really happening, but this is a very peaceful place, and when you're surrounded by nature, by trees, by the sun, that's the energy you inhabit, which is it's kind of a good thing if the energy's good. Understand energy of good and evil from the same source. Understood energy of good and evil from the same source. Yeah, it's an interesting, bipolarity or polarity, not bipolarity, polarity, interesting polarity. Marianne says men's cologne. And Frank says, you're still welcome to crash my place on your visit. Thanks, Frank. I seem to recall you were in Florida, but I could be completely wrong. And thank you so much for that. Yeah, I would love to be back in the States. It really is about establishing some kind of income for myself, whether it's through artwork or through channeling or through writing or through healing sessions, therapy. It is a kind of business. So without I'm really not a very business oriented person. So that's always the missing piece in the puzzle. But once I have that in place, still working on it, Frank, then I will be free to explore. I have been very graced and blessed to receive many invitations from people, which is really, really wonderful. And I would love to be of service, and I would love to be traveling New Jersey with my special oasis in Sedona. And Sedona is somewhere which keeps popping up. People kept saying I should be in Sedona. I had a healer, a close friend who lives in Sedona. She's got an Airbnb there. She does great. Her name's Robin. And New Jersey, I was in New Jersey literally in 2005, Frank. So 2005, and I can remember it vividly. Jersey City, Jersey State, and being kind of really curious. I love the people I met, and they were very friendly. And so many people were connected to New York City. It was like this microcosm of the macrocosm. Connect with you now. I think my screen has frozen. I think the screen, okay, it's unfrozen. Yeah, the screen just froze. And Jessica, welcome to the show. And I was thinking of you yesterday. You were messaging me, how is it going? And I've been going through kind of experiences as well. We were talking about being in a toxic environment, or being bullied, being pushed down, being enslaved. And I realized through talking to you that I was going through kind of similar experiences. So thank you for sharing. I've been breaking out of that energy and realizing my own worth, and how I keep putting myself down and allowing that to happen. So I've been bullied a lot at a spa, and kind of relentlessly. It's just been getting worse and worse recently. Marianne says, when you come to New York City, I could show you interesting places in Queens. I'm a mile off LaGuardia Airport, although I think you're coming in from JFK. LaGuardia, JFK. Well, my time in New York was also 2005. That's when I went to New Jersey, and I spent a night in Queens. My first night was in Queens, and I think I did come through JFK Airport. I remember LaGuardia, and I remember Queens. So thank you. Thank you, Marianne. I think there's just something going on. I don't know if you can see me. Okay, can you see me? Jessica says New York is amazing. Can you still see me? I don't know why. Something going on with the screen today. Cancel. Okay. There was just something on my screen. New York is amazing. So I do have a new website. I forget to share it. Mercury retrograde again. Yes, exactly. And it's so hard for me to update the website. There it is. If anyone wants to have a look, let me know if it's working. Let me know if it's working. So Jess, we were saying New York is amazing. Yeah, a lot of energy in New York, but we're talking about New York City. So New York City, not just New York, because New York is a state. So it's a little, it can be a little bit confusing. It's when people talk about New York, do they mean the state or the city? So I stayed in Manhattan. I stayed right in the center. I stayed in New Jersey. I stayed in Brooklyn. And I also have been to California and Florida a couple times. I think about 3 times in California. Explored California a little bit. And Hawaii. My cousin lives in Hawaii. And my other cousin lives in California. Adam says, hi, David, would you mind an intuitive reading for me, please? Sure. Marianne says, upstate, the city, and Long Island. I haven't been to Long Island. What's Long Island like? And remember that book, that famous book, I think from the 1940s or something, 1920s, or what was that book? They made it into a movie, I think. Was it Leonardo DiCaprio? I cannot remember. With the character, I didn't really like that book so much, and I'm not sure why it became so famous. Jessica loves Florida, so you really know the states, Jess. You've really explored the states. All right, so we are talking about New York. We are talking about America, travel, exploration. However, coming back to you, Adam, having a sip of tea. All right, so just tuning in, and I'm getting the number 8 around you, Adam, which is a beautiful, beautiful number. 8 is an infinite number. So this card is saying just break things down, ground yourself, go one small step at a time, kind of like baby steps. Always to get to A and B, it's not usually a straight line. It's a little bit jagged. It's some days we seem to make a lot of progress, some days are slow. But over time, you're heading in the right direction. Keep following your intuition. Sometimes before anything makes sense, you have to take some leaps. It doesn't come to you immediately. So I'm feeling like stepping forward, little baby steps, sometimes taking a bit of a leap into the unknown, believing in possibility, and keep going. Really important. I'm just catching up with the comments, and I'll come back to you, Adam. Frank says, our world is surrounded by archons. Will 2027 be the turning point between good and evil? So thank you. Great Gatsby. Yeah, did you like that book? Why was it so famous? And I found it a bit disturbing, quite frankly, but maybe it does reflect reflect reality. Maybe it is a truth, and sometimes the truth is disturbing. Our world is surrounded by archons. World 2027. I feel more like 2028, 2030. Yeah, I'm feeling more like 2030, Frank, but I feel like the next 4 years will continue to be turbulent, and then it's not just going to be plain sailing. So it's going through a lot of stuff, a lot of collective trauma, a lot of collective consciousness is kind of, it's cleansing, is raising things up to the surface. We're not hiding it, pushing it down. It's coming up. Think Billy Joel territory. I think The Great Gatsby. Billy Joel. Yeah, that was what I was referring to, The Great Gatsby. What did that mean something to you, Marianne, or did you think it was overrated? A couple of weeks ago, there were two girls, one on a treadmill and one next to in a gym setting. Both of them looked at me whilst I was on the elliptical, and I caught them, and they withdrew their eyes looking at me. Why did they look at me? What energies are you feeling? Okay, that's a great question. That exploitation by the Epstein class. Yeah, absolutely, Frank. And it is very disturbing. However, it is real, and I think we escaped so much in the cult of celebrity. That's been very misleading. The greatest exploitation, the greatest thing was staring us right in the face, but we were like zombies following the Hollywood elites and whatever they were. But so much exploitation, so much darkness, so much sin, so much awful stuff, and it is really disturbing. The more it rises to the surface, the more we can process it, the more we can deal with it, we can heal it, we can recover from it, we can move forward as a society. Not sure why there are some not so great things that Long Island wants to hide. Try the Amityville Horror. That's also film, Marianne. Yeah, interesting. The consciousness coming up. Marie, could you please tell me when I'll get the money I'm expecting? I'm just catching up with the comments, and I'll come back to you. So, which gentleman sent me? Okay. So we have quite a few things going on. I'm just going to start with Adam. A couple of weeks ago, there were two girls, one on a treadmill, one next to. Both of me looked. They looked at you, and then they withdrew. Okay. So we're just going to pick a card on that, Adam. All right. So this card is very much a kind of curiosity. You're not alone. You are connected. You're part of you're part of the energy, the cosmos. But I feel like there was something you were wearing, like a red shorts, and they were kind of curious. They were curious about what you were wearing. So it was more out of curiosity, Adam. That's what I'm getting, the energy. Curiosity. They were kind of like, oh, who's that guy? What's he wearing? And they were kind of, they just they found you kind of interesting, and the fascinating is the word I'm getting. So there was a intriguing kind of like, oh. And they just got a bit caught up in it. They got caught up in it. It's almost like you're not from this world, and people are like, what? And so intuitively they were picking that up. They were curious, like, where's that guy? What is this? Where's he from? But it's almost like red. Were you wearing red, or there's something you were wearing that also kind of drew them in, drew in their eyes. All right. So, Murray, could you please tell me what I'm getting? Frank never learned from history, therefore. Yeah, we keep going with this, Frank. We keep going with these destructive forces and greed. Greed is underneath it all. So, which gentleman sent me a message? All right, that was the sent. Let's just pick a card. Okay, let's get that. I'm feeling Randy, Marianne. I'm feeling it was Randy just visiting you. It feels like he's activating the earth. He's visiting power places and landlines and structuring almost like a vibrational portal, vibrational architecture, and he's visiting, and you're part of his plan. He wants to kind of bring you into the energy, but just kind of saying hi and letting you know that he's busy, he's good, he's he's doing really well, and he's busy with his mission, and he's got a mission, and he is out there doing it. And he wanted to also thank you. He wanted to thank you and thank you for supporting him. So that is his message for you. And Adam, were they checking out my body or something? Is that Gecko? Is that from the what was that movie? Gordon Gecko. Was it Gordon Gecko, Frank? The millionaire movie, the trader. Was it the trader or the Yeah, it is. It's pretty disturbing, but the cult of celebrity, people have celebrated the worst people in the world and made them put them on pedestals. And you're like, why are we putting these people on pedestals? He visited my lips and nose with a kiss tickle. He's in the hospital. He visited my lips and nose. Oh. All right. So we have a lot of interesting comments, and Marianne, thank you for that. Frank says, you haven't changed over the years, for you're always been Randy. Well, thank you, Frank, for that. We're talking about someone whose name is Randy, but I think you make me laugh. I think you are. You're funny, Frank. Golden Gecko. Golden Gecko. Yeah, that's the one. Golden Gecko. Thanks, Frank. You're very knowledgeable. You have all the So thank you for supporting me, Frank, and being there with the information. So we were talking about someone whose name was Randy, but I think you were joking, which I love. There's nothing so serious, and laughing it's the best medicine. Laughing is the best medicine. Yeah, Adam, they were checking out what you were wearing, but curious about you, curious about your energy. So it was like, whoa, there's something about this guy. Okay. Yeah, so that kind of is what it was about. Where was this? I'm just looking. Marie, how do you say your name? Marie. I've had a lot of Maries with me lately. Lots of Marys. Could you please tell me when I'll get the money I'm expecting? All right, so we're getting. I'm getting I was getting like a 2. Like it seemed like 2 months, 2 years. Could be 2 years. I don't think it's 2 decades, 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 years. Yeah. This is trust the timing. So really letting go, surrendering the process, let the wave do its thing. Let the time move as it's going to move, the inevitable flow. And so don't try to force anything. Let things flow. It is moving. It is moving. So please just trust the timing. Let's pick another card here. All right. So there's a lot of Mars. There's a lot of astrological energy around this. So the Mars energy, which is, it's quite an intense energy. The red of Mars is quite intense. So that card is just indicating bring some blue energy, bring some calm energy, breathe, let things flow. move to the music, bring more of a harmonious spirit around this money. If you can do some Tai Chi, it'll be great. It'll be beautiful. So yeah, that would it is coming, and let us know. Let us know how it's going, Marie. Let us know how it is going, and sending you lots and lots of flow. Going with the flow, Marie. Were they checking out? I think we were further down. Marianne, if I give his last name a whole blot if people know of him, but I'm keeping his secret. Well, that sounds intriguing, Marianne. Really interesting. Very intriguing. What can I say, Marianne? Frank says, you were very supportive when my wife was battling cancer. It isn't easy, Frank. None of us have it easy. Everyone is facing suffering, and it's kind of like, is there the perfect thing to say to someone? I don't think so. Is there any words that can help them with their suffering? Is there a perfect thing to do, a perfect word to say, a perfect piece of music to play? It's part of harmonizing with the universe, accepting that life gives, life takes away, accepting loss as part of this reality. Part of the richness of the tapestry is appreciating what we have, appreciate what we are given, but also knowing that the waves will take it away, that everything is short-lived, everything is impermanent. Nothing is changeless. The tallest skyscraper, the biggest skyscraper, it will only be around for a certain time, and then it will dissolve to dust. Ultimately, our planet is not going to be harboring life perpetually, eternally. There is only one eternal life, eternal light, which is the oneness of the universe, of the one source, the one force, which is our true home, where we come from and where we go home to, our eternal now. So thank you to Frank. Marianne says, Marys and Anns are the most popular names in the world. So you have the most popular name in the world because you have both, Marianne. You have both. Beautiful names. So you are very popular, Marianne. You are very popular. Thank you for sharing that. Damn, so they weren't checking out my body. Well, they were checking out. They have eyes, so if they were looking at you, they were unless they were blind, they were checking you out. So what are you? You're a soul, but you there was something you were wearing, but you were putting it on your body. They were looking at you. Yeah, I think they were curious. So yes, they were checking out your body, Adam. Jessica says, what's your favorite planet, David? You remind me the sun always bringing light. I feel most connected to Sirius and Sirian energy. Sirius A, Sirius B. There's two stars. They have two stars, Sirius A and Sirius B. And the brightest star in the sky is Sirius, which is called the dog star. So the brightest star in the sky is Sirius. Frank says, no, just showing you care. So yeah, coming back to that comment, ultimately with love, with loss, with ups and downs, just being there for people, just being there, showing that you care. That's all we can do, just being there for them. There's no magic formula, no secret, no special thing you can do or say. It's just being there for them and showing that you care. Thank you for that, Frank. Mary says thank you, and thank you, Mary. Please do like and share the show if you've got something from this, or if you want to support and help the show, please do like and share. I have a similar question to the one before. There was a guy and girl, both on a treadmill, who looked at me while on the elliptical a few weeks ago. The guy was in my brother's year in high school, but I'm not sure if he was in the same class. But he and a girl both looked at me, and I caught them. Why did they do so? What energies are you feeling? This was a few months ago, weeks ago, in the gym setting as well. Adam, just beyond this question is, it occurs to me that it's kind of a compliment when people look at you. It means they're interested. So what's their intention other than curiosity? Frank says the only thing that doesn't change is change itself. And that is what gives us life. And our I am. The only thing that doesn't change is change itself, and that is what gives us life. That's what is life. And our am presence. I am that I am. Thank you, Frank. That's a true message from source energy, from the energy people call God. I was laughing about the Randy thing too, Randy. Yeah, it is a funny thing. I didn't think I've ever met anyone named Randy who wasn't American. Have you ever met anyone? It's an American name, and it's kind of like, I don't really understand where the name comes from. It's kind of, maybe you could explain why people have the name Randy, because with the double meaning. Why is that? And why only Americans have names like that? And I think Randy is also like, isn't it sort of multi-gendered, or it's a man and a woman can be called Randy, I think. Frank, where was this? Adam. So let's come back to Adam. I'm not sure if he was in the same class. They looked at me. All right, so I'm feeling like there's an insecure energy, and you're attracting this into your life to teach you not to care if people are looking at you, and to laugh at it and to embrace it. Adam, I'm feeling people have eyes. People have eyes, and yeah, there's responsible use of eyes, but sometimes you can diffuse this kind of situation with a laugh, just a gentle. You can wave. So there's a feeling of just, it's kind of an insecure feeling of being contained in your body. Just loosen up that energy, let it flow. And when people look at you, say hi. Smile at them. I feel like it's too serious with you, Adam. So say hi, smile at them. I think they were admiring your body, Adam. This card, it says it's very much just surrender, Adam. Don't overthink everything. Let the flow of life happen. Let the extremes of life be. Hold the opposites. Let them be present. Like, let the polarity be. Don't try and force anything. Dance with life. So that's this card, surrender. Dance with life. Some more water for you, I would say, Adam. Just be in water. Feel that weightlessness of water. That will really help you sort of tune into that energy. And when people look at you, just wave, smile, and don't take it seriously. Don't worry about it. Jess says, my favorite planet is Jupiter. He's a teacher and he protects from bad things and enhances good things. So that's a great topic. What is your favorite planet? So anyone who is online, feel free to share. I invite you to share. What is your favorite planet? What is your favorite planet? What is your favorite planet? So Jess says Jupiter is her favorite planet. So Jupiter is a teacher. And where do you feel we have life on other planets? Like where is that life? Where is the life on other planets? Because I feel like there is a space station on the moon. I feel strongly there is a station on the moon. The moon is a very curious thing. And there's that other planet where the clouds, there's signs of life in the clouds. Which planet was that? So that's really interesting. I find it fascinating to think of the universe teeming with life and what sort of life forms we may find, or will they all be quite similar to the Earth? Will it be quite similar to Earth or completely different? I guess there must be sort of an infinite variety, an infinite range of life forms. This planet is one of the things that is so interesting about Earth is the dinosaurs. They just found a new dinosaur recently. It was like a completely different reality on this planet, and all the dinosaurs died off, or most of them died off. Some of them, we have some remnants of the dinosaurs, like the lizards, the reptiles, birds even have some, I think they are related, but it's in Marianne says, I'm torn. Mercury, when not in retrograde, the intelligence that shines from it, and Venus. Venus is what I was talking about, loving Venus and the clouds in Venus harboring life forms. The divine feminine. That's what I like about Venus. There's something really feminine about living in the clouds. Imagine living in the clouds. The secret moon base, that's what I was referring to. Wasn't there a TV show about that, Space 1999? I'm not sure. There's a lot of, I used to see a lot of stuff on YouTube of life on the moon, of moon bases and other, other extraterrestrials living on the moon or using it as a base. It seemed there was a lot of structures. I don't know if that's still on YouTube. I think YouTube's removed a lot of stuff, but there was so much about the moon and so many pictures that people had taken that were really fascinating. I don't think it was faked. It seemed really real. Also, Mars. Mars has a lot of signs that it was a living planet, a civilization, some time back. So the Mars could have been kind of similar to the Earth, but I think they had a big destruction, and there's some remnants if you look at pictures of Mars. So yeah, really interesting. Jess says, in different places, the universe is immense and sublime. Yeah, the distance, the universe is, the distance is unimaginable. Can beings travel the speed of light? Can they go through wormholes, through portals? And how does it all work? So Jupiter and Mercury and Venus. So is there life on Venus? Is there life in the clouds of Venus. I'm going to pick a card again. I just feel strongly there is life on Venus. There is life in the clouds. There is a kind of mystical, feminine kind of life force that is hard to imagine. It's so different from the Earth, but it is a very intelligent force, I get. So I feel that connection to Venus, to Venusian energy, to the Venusian clouds, and that they have they have a lot to teach us. And do we already have any sort of extraterrestrial technology in our current world? You know, there are people releasing information from the American government now, becoming more mainstream, more accepted, more shared with the world. And we are going to pick a card from the Buddhism Oracle deck. Just asking for a message. Okay. Marianne says Venus is like a reverse Earth in theory, but not up to NASA. NASA's Goldilocks standard. So what is a Goldilocks standard? What is that? Venus is like it's fascinating. There was a film where they had one world and the other world in reverse. That was really an interesting film, and I think that the couple fell in love from both worlds and were kind of crossing over. So it's a great concept. Maybe Venus is like that, a reverse Earth in theory. So what is a Goldilocks standard? According to Vedic astrology, there will be a Venus Kazemi, I think, next Saturday. Oh, so there's a lot of Venusian energy. A lot of Venusian energy. What do you think, Marianne? Is Venus like a reverse Earth? So swimming in the clouds, life in the clouds. That's fascinating. So the Buddhist message today from the wisdom cards is, it is you who must make the effort, who must cultivate the energy which you seek. The master can only point the way. No teacher will take you into consciousness. They can only show you the way, guide you. So determination is the energy, the force, the volition to go forward in a direction. And the more conscious you can become of that direction, the more you can choose to step forward, to take baby steps, to take bold actions even, to keep going in that singular direction, to embody the quality of the destination, to embody the mental quality of endurance that lasts, the physical quality of healthy, vibrant earth energy, and the spiritual quality that comes with knowing you're moving in the right direction. So earth meets heaven, heaven meets earth in our embodiment, in embodying the future we wish to inhabit. So stepping into the intention, not from surrender or passivity, but by taking steps forward in the direction that you are aiming at. Wait, what did you say again? Why both the guy who was in my brother's year from high school and the fair girl both looking at me? I am going to end the show. You can come back next week. I may come back tomorrow. It's just getting a bit noisy around here. Adam, you can also contact me on Instagram. Think the Story, our planet's gas percentage. We're where we can breathe. So earth is just right, like baby bear's bed and mama bear's porridge. Baby bear's bed and mama bear's porridge. On that note, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for being, sending you love, light, abundance, happiness, peace. And thank you for being on the David Starlyte Show. Please do like and share if you're called, and see you on the other side. Thank you, Jess.